Okay, so this is the shipment method I use. I have a friend who had asked to see how I do shipments. I had previously made videos of this in the past. I did actually try and edit them to try and make it all fancy. I don't feel like doing that this time. So what I'll do is I'll just go over how I do shipments with this method and explain how it works. So I'll try and keep it short. I don't want to turn this into a 3-hour video because everyone will tell you in Hades Star that it's not a fun thing to do, shipping. It can get boring, and I only really took an interest in it in the late game because, frankly, there's nothing else that I really got interested in. This is how I do shipments, and it is a late game shipment process. As you can see, my credit cap, is 12.98, which is the maximum. All my planets are maxed out. All my trade stations are maxed out. I'm an RS11 player. I really don't need the income. You can see that what am I researching? I'm researching Vengeance right now, pushing it to level 12 for my own purposes. It's just, by the time you get to RS11, the point that slows you down is actually not credits. It's the time it takes to do shipments. And so, the time it takes to do research. Everything else is really not a concern. You can see my hydro is at 400,000, which is, again, not something I'm too worried about. If I really, really need to get more hydro, I could just salvage a couple arts, and I don't really need to do that. So without further ado, I'm going to explain my shipment method in more detail. So I have 3 hubs that are used for on-lane shipments, where on-lane means the things that are connected to these lanes, and 2 hubs for off-lane shipments, which is the 5 locations not connected to lanes. So the 5 locations not connected to lanes, you can see are these 2 planets down here, and these 3 trade stations. In general, I don't know of a situation where you'd want to have trade stations connected to lanes. Every person I've talked to who has maxed out their system similar to the way that I have it never puts their trade stations on lanes. Yes, they are very high income generators. That's the point of trade stations. They're the highest income generators of your entire system, but you don't need them on lanes. Planets have much more shipments on them, and the point of lanes is to try and deliver as many of your shipments as possible to the things that have the most number of slots for shipments, and in this case it's planets, because trade stations only hold 18 shipments each. So the first thing I do when I start shipments is I want to reduce the number of places I'm picking up from. So you can see that I already pre-positioned my transports in some locations. These locations are where I'm moving shipments from these locations to planets that are on lane, so that I don't need to pick up from as many locations. The way you speed up shipments is you have to have less places you're picking up from, and also less places to deliver from, ideally, but the only way you can get less places to deliver from is to really micromanage it even more. And I'm not going to do that second part of reducing the number of shipments I'm delivering to. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm going to be getting the shipments, as I said, to locations so that everything's clustered. So you'll see I'll never pick up from these 2 planets here, either from Echo or from, that's Delta or Golf. I don't want to pick up from there, so I'm moving all the shipments from Golf to Foxtrot, and I'm moving all the shipments from Delta to Echo. And this will reduce the number of places I'm picking up from. Now, where the hubs actually serve, so let me just move these transports, and as they move, I'll explain the next thing I'm doing. I pre-position these transports, by the way. Sometimes I don't, and some days I do, so today's one of the days I did. From the hubs, you can see I'm only picking up my off-lane stuff. The way that I've designated what's off-lane, trade stations, as I mentioned before, are obviously off-lane, but if you look at the title of these 2 planets down here, there's a T with an O in brackets, and the only reason I put a T is because then alphabetically they'll show up at the top of my shipment list, as you can see here. They come just right after the trade stations. If I didn't put the T there, I previously just wanted the bracket with the O. They don't appear right after the trade stations. So that's the reason I named them like that. I didn't want to, but it's the way that I saw them working. So from the trade stations, I'm also picking up the off-lane stuff, and from the 2 of the hub planets. Now my 3 hub planets here are Papa, which is up here. It's a nice 2. Ice planet number 2. Lima, which is down here. It's a Terran planet 2 or 1. Oh, sorry, it's a water planet. And this guy here, which is Hotel, which is my other ice planet. And those are my 3 hubs. So Hotel is going to be serving this planet here and these 4 planets here. Lima, because it's right in the center of the second hub of lanes, is going to be serving this cross of planets that I just pointed out. So it'll become more clear once I actually sort the shipments. That's what it serves. And finally, Papa is going to be serving all of this center here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So basically all the starting planets in that first sector plus the second sector you get. And that's the reason why it's actually the biggest, because it holds 100 shipments and it's serving the most destinations. So that's why it's going to be the one for that particular hub. So now that my transports are in position, I'm moving the off-lane shipments off from the planets, because basically this is the first stage of my shipments. I clear all the off lanes, throw them onto the off-lane hubs. So my 2 off-lane hubs are this guy here, Kilo, which is going to serve these 2 planets down here, and then November, which is going to serve all 3 of my trade stations. So once I get these things cleared out, all the off-lane stuff, then I'm going to start clearing the hubs themselves of the on-lane shipments, which is probably the longest part of shipments, I would say. If you notice the way I do shipments, I first start with 3 transports, and by the time I'm actually done my shipments, you'll notice that that I have all of my transports moving until the point where I fire a drone. Now, at one point, I'm going to pause this video, and normally in, I would say, normal situations, you fire your own drone. I kind of have a bit of an agreement with another friend in the game, and he and I fire drones in each other's systems. This allows us both to work towards the shipment drone achievement. Which one is it? This one here, the shipment assistant. So you can see I'm at 88 million. I'm hoping that I get to 100 million by the time Dark Nebula comes out, the update that everyone's hyped about, or in some cases not hyped about. But that's my goal, is to try and get that achievement before that update launches, because there's hints that Andreas, the developer, might be removing it. I'd like to get all my achievements by then. I only have that one and the White Star one to get. So the White Star one I'm definitely going to get. I only have to do 3 more White Stars, but the other one, I'm not sure if I'll get it in time, because I'm pretty slow at it. I'm very conscious of hydro usage. Even though I don't have a hydro problem, I don't waste it as much as other people do in red stars and blue stars and such. So I would really like to get that achievement. And for me to launch a drone in someone's system is 19 million or 19,000. What's my drone cost? It's a drone 12. You don't need drone 12 at RS11, but I got it anyways. But it cost me 17,500 just to launch one drone, which is pretty high, which is why I don't like to launch them often. So yeah, this is, so you can see now I'm starting to move things from between these 2 offlane hubs. So offlane hub 1 is getting filled up. It can only hold up to 72, it's at 64. Offlane hub 2 is starting to get filled up. So now I'm starting to free up transports, because I want to start emptying my hubs. So I need at least 2 more transports empty so that I can start emptying the hubs. And I do them in a specific order. This is something that I came up with over time. Everyone's system is different. You'll have to find out what works for you. But me and a friend, actually the same friend I'm doing shipments for, he and I talked at length about how to optimize my shipping. And even his shipping. We both advised each other, but he definitely advised me more than I advised him. And that's how we worked out what the best way of doing this was. So the first thing I'm going to do is empty this hub. Then I'm going to empty this hub and this hub. So they kind of all happen at the same time, but hub 1 is where we start, because hub 1 also has shipments for hub 3 and hub 2. I know the numbering seems odd. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. It's just how I came up with the numbers. It's really not... you can name them whatever you want, A, B, C. I just call them 1, 2, and 3. So it just helps me remember which ones are which. At one point, I was naming them Hub 1, Hub 2, and Hub 3. But I think I got so used to the name of the planets that I've got right now, which is actually based on the NATO phonetic alphabet. So you can see my first one starts with Alpha, then Bravo, Charlie. If you go look up the NATO phonetic alphabet, you'll see that it's standard names that are used by the NATO call signs for things. So anyways, let's start clearing Hub 1. So, and you can see my battery's low. Anyways, so hub 1 is going to happen now. So I'm first clearing hub 1 of its shipments. So you'll probably see the screen move around a lot as I do this. So this is usually where I mess up the most when I start doing shipments, because it's the most concentrating process of it all. It is entirely possible to just completely screw up at this stage. I would highly recommend that if you don't already have this, you should have all your transports with teleport, because that gives you one chance to undo a mistake. If you make a mistake and your ship has teleport, you can teleport away before it starts delivering shipments. If you don't do this, if you don't have it, then basically if you make a mistake, you have to see it deliver at least one round of shipments, and I'm pretty sure you don't want that to happen. If you're RS10, by the way, you still get all the lanes. You'll just get to a point where the same what I described before, where you're done upgrading everything, you're upgrading planets. You don't really want to upgrade planets, but you have to, and you're once again waiting for research to complete. So yeah, that's kind of shit. So this one might start delivering because I think I didn't catch it in time. Oh, I did. Okay. Well, while that's going there, we can start. So I've actually started emptying Hub 2 at the same time, as you can probably see. I'm now starting to empty Hub 2 and 3. So this is why it takes so much concentration. So you can probably realize why I'm... What are you doing? Okay, you're good. I don't know what the heck this guy's up to. Okay, so you can see Hub 3 is completely clear now. And I don't know what the hell this guy's up to. I don't know why he's going there. So I'm just going to bring him back. I don't need to waste a teleport on him, but I don't know why I tasked him to go there. But anyways, so Hub 3 is getting there. Hub 3, sorry, is done. Hub 2 is getting there. So there was actually a recommendation made by someone on another server that we should be able to script shipments. By script, I mean code. That would really make life a lot easier for me because I already have a method that's codable. It isn't something I'm too worried about, like in terms of losing income. And I'm pretty sure even when the update comes, I still won't be worried about income. I think the only way I'll be worried about income again is if there's an RS level, which is so hard that I start losing battleships again. Which honestly, I was talking to other players and we would prefer another more higher difficulty RS level because yes, RS 11 requires a lot of concentration when you run one, but it's not terribly difficult. It just needs more concentration. You can get away by not concentrating on a 9 or an 8 or 7 or anything below that. But in a 10, you need to worry about ghosts. In 11s, you need to worry about killing hydras. So, and ghosts, actually, when you're loading. You can't look away from the screen as you can in a 9 for like 2 minutes and nothing happens unless somebody drops an int on your planet or something. Okay, so all the hubs are cleared. So you can see now Hub 2 over here is only for its designated destinations. Same with Hub 3 here. It's only for that cross of shipments that is connected by those lanes. And Hub 1, oopsies, didn't empty that transport. Hub 1 only has all the starting planets over here in the center and to the right, to the left. So this transport is going to stay idle for a little while. So now I'm going to clear this guy and the three trade stations of the hubs, the shipments that are designated for the hubs, so the on-lane shipments, because they're meant to be off-lane hubs, so I only want the off-lane shipments on them. So now this is, like, as I said, there's things that you have to figure out by yourself for your system. This was a system I figured out for myself, which was how can I clear all 3 lanes and my off lanes in sort of one fell swoop. And this was how I figured out the easiest way to do it. Now this actually ties down 3 transports for a pretty long time because it's taking shipments from 4 different destinations, 4 different, places. Oopsies, and I made a mistake. Okay, well, while that's making a mistake, I can bring it back to here and use some other transport to do it because I don't want to wait for it. Come here. So yeah, and you can see these stupid canceled waypoints. That isn't me. That's the game. It's a very annoying bug. I'm still not sure what causes it, but it is extremely annoying. And I only noticed it became a problem as I started adding more lanes to my system. So I think it's just some sort of overflow issue with the game. I don't know what exactly causes it. But anyways, I can start emptying. So these 4 destinations are now being cleared. So I'm going to start emptying the right side. And then I'll go to the left side because there's still the 2 planets on the left that haven't been cleared yet. Those ones I leave for last because I do, I guess. I don't know why else I do. Okay, so I think you're good to go, which means... So now I'm in a lot of a waiting game here because, as I mentioned, there's a lot of transports moving. Literally everything's moving except for one right now. I'm actually down a transport. Normally I do shipments with 9 transports, but one of my transports is in a white star. It's actually rare that I have a transport in a white star, given the relic drone these days, but it is what it is. So it's in a white star, so I'm just carrying on with 8. It's not really slowing me down that much. Okay, so now I'm actually starting to empty the right side. The left side's clearing nicely. I could probably speed things up with the... Oops. So here, this thing's reaching capacity right now, so I'm trying to free up another transport, which I just did. And now I'm doing this guy. So the right side is going to be completely clear at this in a couple minutes. I might actually fire the time mod station because it's going to take long for a lot of these things to finish. Because of the high level of my time mod station, I can't activate it for more than a couple seconds at a time. Otherwise, I just lose track of things. So you'll see I'll just do it in a short burst of a couple seconds. And that's as far as it's going. Because if I go any faster, I will lose things and I'll have to teleport them. So this guy is done. This guy is done. This guy's done. I can probably just park him here to remind myself that a good way for me to know when I have idle transports that aren't doing anything is I throw them on a warp lane hub. That to me means that, okay, you're done. You're whatever task you were doing, you're waiting to do something else. So that's just an indicator for me. It also speeds things up because obviously hubs are the place where it has to go to before it needs to go somewhere else in the system. So it's just something I discovered. Whoa, I don't know why the hell you're doing that. Nope. Thank you. See, that's a mistake. That was not supposed to be delivering 6 shipments to this planet. That was definitely not intentional. So I teleported it back to this thing. So I've lost that teleport now, which means I have to be a little more careful with that transport. Anyways, let me continue on with shipments here. Okay, so I still need to do the left side. But we're almost done here. So okay, so this thing is now entirely just 3 trade stations. Oh, okay, it's a slight side note. These two, the way that I deliver these shipments, you'll see that I deliver the trade stations and immediately deliver the 2 off-lane planets there. So I don't mind if there's a couple shipments that are designated for this guy down here to India, because it's going to be delivered there anyway. So I'm not too worried about that. I could actually start delivering them now, but I'm not going to because I'm talking to you, and I'm also needing to still clear these guys here. So my end of shipments is once I actually start delivering these, so I'm not going to do that yet. Okay, so now I can clear these planets. Now the reason I'm checking these 2 is because you can see they have shipments designated for each other. So in a rare instance where that happens, I don't like to have the shipments designated to each of these planets. So I actually send 2 separate transports to the planets to pick up the shipments designated for themselves. So that way I'm not delivering the shipments to the 2 planets when I pick them up. Because it is 2 shipments. I mean, yes, okay, you can argue I don't need the income, but I want to keep these good habits because if I continue to play when Dark Nebula comes, and that's an if because I'm not really sure how good or bad it's going to be yet, I want to have good shipment discipline so that I am not in a situation where I'm making all these really bad mistakes in shipping that I could have easily avoided, especially considering how the planet cap is going to raise so high and income is probably going to become a problem once again, which is not what I want to happen, but you know, it seems to be how the game is going. Wait a minute, what am I doing? Okay, so you're taking those, and you are going to here, and then you're going to come back. Okay, so. Okay, so that's the final round of clearing. So while that's happening, I can start just dumping things on planets. As you can see, I'm filling them up. They're all hitting cap. Eventually, the way that I deal with the overflow is I basically start taking the extra shipments in bunches of 10 or 11, bound for one destination, and dumping them on whatever planet is empty, but that's on lane. Because the drone will pick up from anywhere and will deliver to anywhere. And this is actually crucial. This is actually one of the reasons why it's crucial to have as few connections as possible. So between any 2 linked systems, linked planets in your system, you should have no more than 3 jumps. Because if you have any more than 3, the drone struggles to completely deliver all the shipments in a reasonable amount of time. So So I'm basically done here. And I also will start delivering these guys. So back in the days when I really needed, like I cared about the time for drone and for boost and burst, I would activate this only when I started delivering shipments. That isn't a problem anymore, as you'll see very soon. So I'm just trying to see the most optimal way to do this. So I'm going to set a sort of errant waypoint here on purpose to give me time to get every single destination on this thing. So that's done. So that would deliver everything from that planet, the 2 planets, sorry. And now this guy's done. And this guy's done too. And that's basically it. So this is where I'd fire the drone. I'm not going to show you the demo for that because, as I said, I have someone else that I'd fire a drone for me, and I'm going to have them fire it. So I'm not going to show how long it takes to do that. So instead, I'll show you the final sort of thing where I throw the overflow into another thing. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pause the video. Give me a second. Okay, so you can see that ally of mine fired his drone. He is going to do that. That drone will now deliver shipments. And the reason I like to fire the drone before I start doing this, the overflow sorting, is because it'll help me with that process, because as the drone starts picking up stuff, I don't need to move things as much. So I'm moving things in bunches of 11, as you can see. And the reason I do that is because I have shipment drone 11. He has shipment drone 10, but I want to keep good habits before I go into Dark Nebula. So with shipment drone 10, shipment drone 11, I'd only need to take things down in bunches of 11, in 10, sorry, but at shipment drone 12, I need to have bunches of 11. Sorry. Okay, shipment drone 10 picks up 10 at a time. Shipment drone 11 picks up 11 at a time. So I need to pick up in bunches of 11 because I have shipment drone 12. However, that doesn't help this guy delivering shipments for me because he has shipment drone 11, which picks up things in bunches of 10. So I don't really need to have them like this. But again, I want to have that habit because when and if I still play during Dark Nebula, then I want to have those habits. And actually, I'm taking a bit of an income hit by having someone else fire the drone in my system. The one thing about shipment drones, if you don't know, is that if you actually have someone else fire a drone in your system, you don't get the bonus on the drone. So one of the major benefits of having a drone for shipments is that there's a bonus. As you look in the description for drones, it'll tell you that there's a bonus of 18% per additional shipment, and you won't get this if somebody else fires a drone in your system. So I'm effectively losing about half my income when I have someone else fire a drone in my system. However, it gets made up sort of by the income that they get, the commission they get for delivering shipments in someone else's system. So it's a trade-off because somebody else is getting a benefit out of my shipments, but I'm not getting the full benefits of firing a drone in my own system, and I don't need it. You can see my income, like I mentioned before, I don't need the income. So I'm helping someone else and they're helping me because they're also, I'm also firing a drone in their system as well. So working towards that achievement, like I mentioned before. So I just got to finish doing this. This final phase is actually the most annoying part to me, and it's probably the reason why my shipments take an extra 5 minutes than they usually do, because if I didn't need to do this offload thing with this overflow management, I would be done shipments in less than 10 minutes. But it's this final part that takes me the second longest to finish. Go away. Okay, so I can drop these guys here. And that's it. I'm basically done. So now I'm just, my home base is this place here. And the reason I'm bringing them there is because usually back in the day when I was a huge Hades Star player and doing things like literally playing this game for way too many hours a day, which I still do, I would actually, right away after finishing shipments, I would go and look for an RS in a queue somewhere. I don't do that now, but considering that that's what I will probably do next, I'm just lining my transports up here at this hub because it's closest to my Red Star scanner, and that'll be the next thing I do. And that's about it. You can see that I'm just, once I dump these shipments here, I'm just going to send this transport over here, and I'm good to go. And I'm My typical income from this with someone else firing a drone is in the realm of about $1 million. But if I was doing shipments myself and I was not getting someone else to fire my drone, I would instead be getting about $1.5 million per shipment cycle. And I do ship twice a day, even though I really don't need the income. It is something I enjoy doing. It's something I enjoy min-maxing, and it does take a lot of concentration for the method that I use, but it is something I enjoy doing. So you can see I'm done. I'm basically just, I don't really watch shipments at this point like I used to, because I'm done. I know that it does what I want it to. There will be little nuances about your own process that you'll notice. I noticed that the drone has a habit of really liking this particular hub. It seems to favor this hub over the other two, despite the fact that it's the furthest away from everything. Like, this is, I consider this planet to be the central part of my shipping system, and this to be the furthest point. But for some reason, it likes this hub. It seems to empty this hub first, and then it seems to empty this hub last. I don't know why. There's probably a mathematical reason for it, some algorithmic reason for it. I don't really understand what it is, but that's it. Like, that's my shipments now done, and this would be the point in which I log out and come back in an hour or run a blue star or something. So that's it. If you have any questions, I'm B squared in this game. I have my own Discord server that I just use for my own purposes outside of Hades Star. If you're interested, send me a message and you can join the server. Or you can even just find me probably somewhere on any major server in the game, except for HSO. I'm not on HSO. So, yep, have fun and good luck, and I hope you enjoyed this video.